Naturally and thankfully, the OnePlus Nord 3 is an improvement over the company's previous iteration, the OnePlus Nord 2T. Instead of using whatever is in the parts bin like last year, OnePlus has tried to bring the Nord 3 in line with what customers expect from a 2023 mid-ranger. The OnePlus Nord 3 is a considerable upgrade from previous iterations of the series, delivering enhancements where they are most needed. Compared to earlier iterations of the OnePlus Nord series, this is easily one of the most noticeable upgrades. Maintaining its industry leadership, OnePlus has upgraded the primary camera sensor to the same flagship module as the OnePlus 11. The phone's premium mid-range focus is evident in every facet, from the choice of chipset to the quality of the manufacturer. But before starting, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And now, let's get started. However, this does not imply that the OnePlus Nord 3 should be dismissed as merely another standard mid-range handset. The somewhat obtrusive camera module featured on the OnePlus Nord 2T has been eliminated. And instead, the OnePlus Nord 3 offers a notably plain design and, as a result, is more elegant. The glass back comes in a glossy or matte finish, and the squared-off mid-frame is coated in an equally beautiful matte finish for increased grip. Because it has the IP54 designation, it can tolerate being submerged in water. However, in contrast to the Samsung Galaxy A54 5G and Pixel 7, it cannot withstand being submerged for an extended time. You will, however, find conveniences such as the traditional OnePlus Alert slider and an infrared blaster at the top of the device that can control televisions and other appliances. The most obvious distinctions between the two will become apparent from the front onward. The screen size has been dramatically expanded to 6.74 inches, and the resolution has been enhanced to 1.5 carats. When it was first released, the OnePlus Nord was one of the first smartphones in the mid-range segment to include a display with a high refresh rate. This made it an industry pioneer. The refresh rate of the Nord 3 has been enhanced to 120 Hz to keep up with the rapid speed of the other products on the market. Even though it is not an LTPO panel, the screen has a refresh rate of at least 40 Hz, which helps to ensure that the battery will last as long as possible. I haven't come into any concerns with the display quality. It did not matter to me whether there was a lot of sunlight or clouds in the sky. I had no trouble seeing it either way. Out of the box, the color fidelity settings tend to be on the more saturated side of things. In no way is it garish. On the contrary, I found myself drawn to the vivid hues. On the other hand, selecting one of the inbuilt Pro modes makes it simple to switch to a tone that is more neutral than the one that is present as the default. HDR support has been relatively erratic on recent hardware from OnePlus, but I am happy to announce that the Nord 3 performs well in this area. The Grand Tour looked terrific in its HDR glory, but it highlighted the uneven stereo speaker output. As would be anticipated, the chipset is the component that constitutes the most substantial improvement. The company's gimmick, which may be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your point of view, is to deliver exceptional performance for your money, and the MediaTek Dimensity 9000 does not fail in this regard. The performance can be bolstered by up to 16 GB of RAM. But what's more essential is that Oxygen OS now acts well with how it manages programs running in the background. In the week I spent using the phone, I did not experience any wrong force shuts. Similarly, video games perform precisely as beautifully as one might expect, and I wasted more time than I needed to have trying out Call of Duty Mobile with all of its settings raised to the highest possible levels. After a few intense sessions, the phone felt warm, but I did not experience thermal throttling while playing the game inside. In addition to that, it doesn't take long for the phone to cool down. Because this is a OnePlus phone, a few issues still need to be resolved. The most evident embodiment of this was the typing experience, in which I continuously noticed a hint of latency. Even though it wasn't enough to stop me from typing, it did take me a few seconds to get used to the new environment and become comfortable with it. OnePlus will likely offer an update when the product has been made available to the public that will fix this problem. Regarding software upgrades, OnePlus has promised to give the OnePlus Nord 3 significant updates and 4 years' worth of security fixes, which is a respectable degree of support for a smartphone in this price category. OnePlus has remained within its tried and true camera arrangement, which comprises a primary camera with excellent resolution, a middling 8MP ultrawide shooter, and a 2MP sensor that is essentially useless. The camera on the Nord 3 is a 50-megapixel IMX890 sensor, also found on the flagship OnePlus 11 and the more recent Nothing Phone 2. This is one of the things that the Nord 3 has taken from the OnePlus 11 and implemented on its own. Even though it does not have the Hasselblad tuning that is present on the flagship model, this is not a huge downside. OnePlus has chosen a color profile that is significantly brighter and does a reasonably great job of preserving its device's fine detail and textures. The algorithms used to reduce noise aren't overly aggressive, and there isn't any visible smearing, as we've seen on earlier OnePlus smartphones. The level of sharpness in the details and the excellent control over the highlights in HDR shots are two aspects that satisfy me in these types of photographs. The portrait mode has also been enhanced, and the phone does an excellent job of replicating a depth of field effect. Conversely, the shutter lag is a significant letdown, and photographing moving subjects is nearly always an exercise in irritation. Compared to the primary camera, the quality of the ultra-wide shooter is noticeably lower. The OnePlus Nord does an excellent job of maintaining the camera's sharpness and details, but the camera's excessive noise levels are an obvious downside. On the other hand, the macro camera's low resolution makes it almost impossible to use. You can view examples captured with the full resolution of the OnePlus Nord 3 camera if you follow the link that we have supplied to our Google Drive folder and look in that location. If you intend to make a career out of mobile videography, the OnePlus Nord 3 will probably not be your first choice of device. Although it can capture up to 60 frames per second, there is no image stabilization at all for 4K footage. The problem can be solved by switching to a resolution of 1080p, although the picture will have an odd cast of red due to the adjustment. In addition, the selfie camera can only record at a frame rate of 30 frames per second in 1080p resolution. I had high hopes for the 5000 mAh battery supplied with the OnePlus Nord 3. However, they were in no way realized by the device. I needed to make one final connection of my OnePlus Nord 3 to the charging dock on most days before retiring for the night. Even though I tested the smartphone's functionality for a more extended period than the ordinary person would, I seldom, if ever, spent more than 6 hours in a single sitting in front of the screen. To our great relief, charging the phone at 80°, which takes approximately 35 minutes to bring it from 0% to 100% of its capacity, is reasonably quick. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.